The moment the man opened the door of the car, saw his wife's white moonlight. The wife did not feel guilty. Instead, she went straight to the car and sat down next to the white moonlight. The man looked at the two people in front of him and felt that he was the one who was superfluous. After returning home, the wife made a table for the white moonlight. The man was very upset, directly got up and went back to the house for a rest. He woke up from sleep and didn't see his wife. He then came out to look for his wife, but he saw a bad scene of his wife. And the man has been married for 5 years, but they have never had sex. He originally thought that his wife was a believer in Buddhism, but one night he realized that his wife just didn't have any feelings for him because his wife masturbated at looking at a picture of Bai Yue Guang. One day at a bar when he was having fun, he saw Bai Yue Guang confessing his love for his wife, but he didn't go up to stop her because he had already made his plan to leave. Bai Yue Guang didn't want to stop, directly picked up a bottle of wine and smashed the man's bottle. The man woke up in the hospital. He wanted to pick up his cell phone to see if his wife had sent him a message, but he saw his wife bandaging up Bai Yue Guang's wounds. It turned out that the man had been smashed. It was a stranger who took the man to the hospital. After the heartbroken man was discharged from the hospital, he went to apply for leave of absence from the country. He called his sister to tell her about the incident. It turned out that the man had been a playboy a few years ago. While he was entertaining with his sister, he fell in love with his sister's girlfriend, who is now his wife. She told him not to think about her. The woman woke up to find herself tied to the bed. The man who brought her here said he would gouge out her eyes and use them to make wine, but the woman wasn't afraid. Instead, she kissed the man because she knew that the man in front of her loved her very much. It turned out that the woman was a reborn human being. In her previous life, the woman was killed by her own father and stepmother's family. The soul of the out-of-body saw the man not only avenged her, but also finally martyred. It was only until now that the woman realized that the man who had once imprisoned her at home had loved her so much, but in the wrong way. The woman was reborn at a time when she and her fiancé had expressed their love for each other. Looking at her fiancé's hypocritical expression, thinking of the image of him at her own funeral in her previous life, and her stepsisters hooking up with each other, she threw away the flowers and turned around to go. At this time, the man Olo chased after her. Seeing that the man was standing in front of her, the woman was thrilled to see him and embraced him. The man who had originally been angry instantly fell. The woman was pulled away by her fiancé, and the man had to make a... The fiancé pulled away. Man had to knock her out. In front of his fiancé held the woman away after returning home. The man could not hurt the woman. He was only angry that the woman always wanted to escape from him. The woman did not resist. On the contrary, she took the initiative to kiss him a mouth and said that she would never run away again. The woman asked the man to unlock his handcuffs, aggrieved that his hands hurt, although the man thought that the woman, maybe for the sake of escaping conveniently, but still unlocked her handcuffs. The president, who had been abroad for 6 years, had just returned home and tortured this woman, although he knew that this was his friend's wife who had passed away. But he hated the woman's heart, only his own good friend. Unbeknownst to him, when the president had just left the country, the woman had found out that she was pregnant and the baby was the president's. The president's 6 years abroad. The woman had taken care of the company in a very good way, so much so that he had become the president's mother's most trusted person. The old lady was very distressed with the woman when she had just been engaged and her fiancé had died. The woman had been alone for 6 years. The old lady saw the hickey on her son's neck. She warned her son not to get involved with any woman who was a triple threat to him, but the hickey was left by the woman beside her. The president asked the woman why she had betrayed him. Years ago, the woman said that she had a reason for doing it. He had brought the woman to a bar, the president and his friends. They wanted to make it hard on the woman to get a drink. The woman knew she couldn't escape, so she picked up her drink and went to a bar with the president. She knew she couldn't escape, so she picked up a bottle of wine and drank bottle after bottle. The president was really upset. After the woman finished the wine on the table, she coughed up blood. When she was about to leave, she suddenly fainted. The first thing a woman does after being reborn is kick her stepsister to the ground. Not yet relieved of her anger, go up and make up for it a few more times. After her 3 older brothers arrived, the woman beat up all of them again. The reason why the woman is so determined to her family is because the woman was forced to take the blame for a hit and run in order to protect her stepsister in her past life, and was sentenced to 3 years in prison for that reason. And during that time, not a single person from her family visited her. The woman was suffering from cancer late in her life. Cancer. I thought that after her release from prison, her family would make it up to her. But what she got was a heartless abandonment from her family. Her mother accused her of being a shameless laborer. Her stepsister put a dagger in her hand. She framed her for self-mutilation. Her mother was furious. She used an iron bar to hit the woman hard. She didn't die yet. Her brother went up to her and added another bar. Until her death, the woman regretted her mistake. If there is a second life, she will not be so stupid. Next moment, she was really reborn. The day her stepsister begged her to take the blame, the stepsister kept kowtowing to the woman, asking for her help. To take the blame, looking at her stepsister with a look of hypocrisy, the woman kicked her to the ground. After her stepsister stood up, the woman unceremoniously rewarded her with a slap on her face. Every night arranged a strange man into his wife's room, forced his wife to have a child with another man, having asked her husband why. Husband said that his body belongs to the white moonlight, but grandpa wants them to have a child. He can only let his wife have a child at random. Woman wants a divorce. Husband threatened her with a bankruptcy. Huge debt. Woman can only compromise, told her husband. The father of the child she wants to find. She found a top male model in a bar. She spent the night. The next day, the woman planned to let the male model serve her for a long time, but she didn't know how noble the man really was. The man accepted, because the woman was his moonlight. The woman didn't know. Meanwhile, the husband asked his assistant to look into the wife's actions last night. She saw her on the surveillance camera. She was alone in the bar. The picture then became blurred. The man thought that the wife was acting on purpose. He then didn't care about his wife's whereabouts. But by now, the wife has had another good night with a male model. The next day, the wife comes home with all the traces of an affair. The husband wonders why the wife is wearing a silk scarf on a hot day. She doesn't want to answer. It's a stupid question. The woman just came home to find her husband and his colleague hooked up. The lover found the woman at the door without a trace of shame and provoked the woman. The woman recalled when her husband had nothing. She didn't listen to her family's advice. She secretly got married to him in a small rented room without witnesses, and her husband promised in an agreement that he would get rid of her. If he betrayed her, he would pay her alimony for her life, and 5 years later, the woman got pregnant. She attended her husband's IPO conference alone. She found her husband with his lover. They were very close. The reporters were very envious. The lover and her husband confessed their love for each other on stage. When the pregnant woman heard this, she couldn't help but feel nauseous. She ran to the toilet and threw up. After reacting to this, she prepared to take revenge on her husband. The woman signed the agreement. She called her lawyer. She prepared for her husband's trial in 7 days. The woman went home and packed her bags. Her husband arranged the women's clothes. He was very kind and attentive to her. She was touched. When the woman was moved ready to forgive her husband, the lover called, invited her husband to travel and dine with her. The woman heard it all. The husband used the excuse that he had something to do in the companies, deceived the woman. The woman decided to get on a plane to collect evidence of her husband's infidelity. She didn't expect that just after arriving at the place, she heard her husband say to her lover,